Okay, so this is pretty much part 2 of what I took from this interview with Charlemagne. And right now it's about still an hour and 8 minutes in. And he started talking about the concept of black perfection. Now, what I took from that is specifically telling black people it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be what uniquely makes you you, even if it's imperfect, because none of us are perfect. And let me know if you're a black person and you can relate to this. I'm pretty sure there are others out there that you feel like you do have to keep that, basically, in short, that fake smile on. Always having to pretend to be like everything's okay, or just not being able to be yourself because you don't want to be looked at as ghetto, or you don't want to be looked at as, oh, that person's ignorant, or oh, that's how black people act. But don't none of that define you. So basically what Kanye's talking about, a lot of people are in more into a mental slavery than that, but that's a form of mental slavery too, not being able to be yourself. And he feels like he's an example of how you can be yourself as a black person and still be accepted. Oh yeah, and it also reminded me of a time where I was talking with somebody and I told them that, it was somebody I was talking to that we had different views and came from different backgrounds, and we were just trying to, share things with each other to try to get better understandings about things. There are people out there like that, a lot more than people like to acknowledge. So anyways, I was just letting them know that, black people aren't, and like I said, I'm not the black people's spokesman, but me in general, and I know other people that feel the same way, we're not going to conform any more than we all already have conformed. So at this point, we're just going to do us, and it's just like, either you accept it or you don't, but like, I really don't care. I'm going to do me. No regrets anymore. Because we are making efforts, and I do feel like, we're just as American as anybody else. We just have our own unique subculture, and it needs to be respected like everybody else's. So I'm about an hour and 23 minutes in. He just finished going into the subject of the concept of luxury, and the concept of branding and buying all this stuff for validation, and being a part of the rat race. And I think from the last time I checked in to now, at an hour and 23 minutes in, I think everything pretty much spoke for itself, and I haven't really had any extra to comment on or anything alternate to comment on in reference to the things he's saying. I think that all's kind of speaking for itself. Yeah. But I'm interested to see if anybody else has any comments on some of what took place. I mean, I don't know. I'm talking like you could just be listening to me talk right now about what happened. So, yeah, whatever. It's kind of late. I'm rambling a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and pause. Okay, so I actually did just get something. It was actually from what Charlemagne was talking about. He was saying how he feel like this Ye that's talking about the bondage of branding and Oh, and the concept of luxury and how time and family is the real luxury. And Charlemagne said this is reminding him of the old Ye for some reason. Because everything, in so many words, he said, because everything isn't about money. So he's kind of referencing that Kanye been on some money shit, like get all he care about is money. The reality is Charlemagne is still not making the connection to where, in order to really, okay, now let's separate from the natural plane to a different plane. Naturally, yes, I know I value the time I spend with my family, and all my loved ones and friends, because that time is limited. And I myself, and I'm pretty sure other people can relate, probably could do better about just understanding the value of that time with family, the value of being able to think, the value of being safe. And to be honest with you, here in America too, specifically, there's a lot of other countries. I have international friends. I come from a military background. I have friends that have lived in other countries majority of their life and then moved to the United States. So I know how it can be. And yeah, even the luxury of being in America and having some type of sense of security. And yeah, things aren't perfect, but it's worse in a lot of other places, and that's just keeping it real. So, but what Charlemagne is not making the connect is that in order to better make those type of luxuries of time and family more available to more people, like in a grander way, you do need to change culture, in a sense, alter it, and you need money to do that. That's where he's not making that connection, because it's not all about money, but sometimes you need money to get certain things done, depending on what you're set out to do. And this is about an hour and 25 minutes in. I finally realized how to say that in reference to my older videos. But this is sounding like, and I don't know exactly what his vision is, but it's coming off to me like Kanye wants to revolutionize clothing in general, and the way we look at clothing, and the way we perceive clothing, and the way we perceive art in general. And that's why history is important to know and understand, because if you look at those great structures and paintings from the past, those things didn't happen overnight. Some of those things didn't happen for months. Some of those things, even the great buildings built, some of those things took years to do. Just like he said with All of the Lights, that song took 2 years to craft. So we do need to talk about this longing for instant gratification all the time. It's not always better. This is about an hour and 26 minutes in when he elaborates and talks about how the music industry is set up for you to basically make a little bit of money and tour until you die. So, and then, I mean, we've seen so many musicians that we don't even know how they doing now. Some of them, I guess, are okay, but there's many who weren't. And there's many who's just touring the rest of their lives. And my point in stopping at this point is, not only is he giving insight to the music industry and letting people know that, I take it also, I look at it from the point of also, everybody doesn't have to strive to be like there's more creativity out there than just rapping and dancing. nothing wrong with doing those things as well, but like broaden your horizons. And also, specifically to him, that's what he wants people to stop looking at him like, I'm just supposed to be this rapper. I mean, I see people saying that, well, we just want you to make music. We just want you to make music. First of all, if you want me to make quality music, it's going to take time. Things are a process. Second of all, I'm an artist. I'm not just a rapper. Like, I create, and I feel the same way. Like, I come up with all kind of ideas. Like, I get all kind of ideas. So, and I want to try to make a way to act on more than just one of them. And in the long run, as far as building generational wealth, economically, that's what you have to do. Like anybody, if that's what your goal is, you have to start tapping into different revenues. Sometimes you might hit the jackpot with one source. Many times that's not the case. So I'm just saying, keep that in mind. So I mentioned this in an interview when I did commentary on the interview from 2013 at the Breakfast Club. This is an hour and 28 minutes in, and he's talking about how he was hanging with people that say you need some type of evaluation for your job. And you're hanging with this guy that knows how to do that, but for some reason, he either keeps giving you the runaround, beats around the bush. You low-key wonder why he hasn't offered his help to you, knowing that you need it, even if it's just some advice. And it's basically people keeping you out of the loop, or it comes off as people don't want you to get what they got. So you keep me misinformed. You don't give me information to help me be better. All I need is the information. Sometimes I'll make everything else happen on my own. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm just asking for the know-how of how to do, the blueprint of how to do something. And, and then it's another sense of, like I said in my previous video, of even to make it even simpler, say you see somebody and you like the shoes or the clothes they have on, and they act like they don't want to tell you where they got it from. And there's different reasons why people act like that, but that's the frustration that he's feeling, and it's frustration that I would feel too, and I'm pretty sure I will feel, and at some point in my life, from that type of situation happening. Yeah, so it's still around the same point, an hour and 29 minutes in. Should have mentioned this before because I already knew this was coming up. He was talking about how, like, yeah, sometimes people don't want to give you information, as I guess you can kind of say in a way they think they're being doing self-preservation. They don't want you to take their idea and run with it. I mean, people have done that before, but there's like levels to things. If you're at a level to where like the people he's talking about, they can afford to spare some information. And I think anybody can, because like he said, if you did it, nobody is you. It would never, if that person is inspired by it or do even duplicates it, it would never be like yours because you're unique. They can never do what you did because you're you. So why not share that information, put it out there into the universe? Even your kids or something. Some people have it to where they don't want to see, they may be kind of mid-aged and may not want to see their kids be more successful than them. I'm pretty sure that type of deal is out there. Or you don't want your kid to take over your company or something, so you hold back information. That's not right. And it's frustrating. Especially for people who are trying to live honestly. Okay, at an hour and 33 minutes in, when Kanye said this is the get out, in short, what he's talking about is owning his own. is the get out. And damn right, he right. That's the real get out. He own his own shit now. And in the process of solidifying it even more and then expanding, swelling, and bursting and expanding more. I just wanted to make that visual. So 1:35, when he's talking about that, he just loved the fact that everybody are expressing themselves, not caring about what the other person think. Not saying you should be rude, but just speaking your opinion, not be like, oh, I shouldn't say this because this, or being silent. And I think I even heard the baby boomers and all them called the silent generation. I just feel like we've been living so far in this country where people couldn't speak out about things. You had to like just bow down to all these social norms that who the hell even created and said that we should all listen to. You know, in respect to acting civil. But yeah, so we're just in a time where people are speaking their truth, and it is beautiful. It's something I also been waiting for, and it's something that has motivated me to go ahead and started put myself out even to the world. I'm gonna do it in my personal life, work life, and everything, and be a part of this catalyst of change that's going on in the world right now. And this shift in consciousness. I mean, that's how I look at it. I mean, let me know how you see it. So this is about 1:36 in, right before Kanye goes into talking about how when Trump ran, he felt something. I want to say I felt something too. I felt something too. Like, even just in my soul, in my spirit, I felt something as well. And I also wanted to elaborate a little bit about right before in this middle section, when he said, you know, he doesn't have all the answers. None of us have all the answers. And that is so humble and honest thing to mention. Like, I always say, you know, it's better to say, I don't know, than to be arrogant or spout things off when you're not even making an informed opinion. Like, just say I don't know. There's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. It's actually the wiser thing to do. And even as far as what do you say to somebody like Trump, who's getting these people deported, breaking up families, I say, you know, refer back to what I said in, I believe it was the other video about, you know, just empathizing with the fact that many people are ignorant to things that have not happened inside their own personal life. I'm guilty of it. I know there's things I don't know about because I haven't personally experienced it. That don't mean I don't have thoughts on it though. But I would do well, and it would be wise that if I have the opportunity to at least speak with somebody and dwell farther into that topic or subject or thing, so I can be better informed about it and make better decisions. And as far as with Trump and you know, when you're asked a question like, well, what about these people getting deported and blah, 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 we can always do a hypothetical what if. And what I would say the first step in that is maybe talking with these families, getting to maybe handling things more on a one-on-one base and not just by some standard, like we some damn robots. But maybe we'll get to that point. And I'll talk about more in another video about looking at things on individual unique cases, more as a society we quote unquote supposed to do that, but let's ask, do we really do that? Or do we just act like, hell, we're all humans in some factory and everything is just manufactured, and we send people through this little machine and don't account for anything personal they may be going through? So I say we start there. Let's get to know these people that are being deported and stuff a little better. See what their reasoning was for coming here and why they don't want to leave. And just and I'm not, this ain't even about immigration, it's about Kanye's thing, but I'm just saying we all know we need immigration reform. Let's just keep it real. And I don't know everything about how it works, but I know it's not working. Let's just put it like that.
When he was running.
So when he's talking about Donald Trump proved that, to him anybody can run, he can run for president. I say too, as far as to take it on a black, from a black perspective, Obama was a representation that, oh yeah, if you do everything perfectly as a black person, don't show none of that blackdom, blackatry that you come from. Yeah, you might can make it up here, might, if all the blacks go out and vote for you too. But Donald Trump shows that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have, perfection is an illusion. That's what he shows. So, yeah, I feel like I needed to say that. All right, at around an hour and 38 in, two things. When he was talking about segueing things, when he said that he liked to segue pretty much things from the past with things from now, and then his own personal touch to make it his own. That's pretty much making a combination, like learning and looking from our past, taking the good things that we can apply and learn from and applying it to the now and mixing it up, making it better. And the other thing he was also talking about is balance. He was talking about balance when he mentioned that he would take a little Trump with a little Bernie because both are needed. That's a more balanced thing. Stop all this partisan crap. I mean, I'm not really a Republican or a Democrat, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people who feel the same way. The partisan crap is old and played out, and we're on to the crap. So we need balance. I think that's what I got from that. So about an hour and 40 in, I want to know other people's thoughts too. I think it's a great idea when in reference to family members and close ones being able to be in the room, or at least see what's going on when their loved one may be getting surgery or going through something, a big procedure at a hospital. I know there's a lot of things to consider, emotions, contamination, things like that. I think that there is a possibility, even if it's not immediately, but for the immediate future, that we could start working on seeing about doing something like that, even if the person is looking like through a glass at their loved one, so you can make sure they're safe. The statistic that people die in the hospital, they don't know what happened to them. Some folks believe organs are being taken. I wouldn't put it past people. So why not? So who think that would be a good thing, Those are the type of innovations that we need to start working on to make America better. Like, I mean, what are we doing trying to go back to the past when we need to be going forward? And reinventing what we already have. I mean, what is this type of logic? I don't understand that mindset. So this is also around 140, 55 when he said there's power in being, I think he said cool and calm. All right, he said controlled and calm, and that's true. Just like, when speaking your mind and trying to be honest about your feelings, trying to meditate on remembering to do it from a place of love, being controlled, calm, more people may be able to receive the message. More people may be able to hear you out, or even just the person you're talking to when you're calm, cool. And sometimes you might have to take a step back in order to become cool, calm, and remove yourself from the situation and come back to become controlled and calm, or whatever you may need to do. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there because it might help somebody, family, or somebody might be already be doing it. I don't think marijuana should be illegal, and I think maybe, especially in family situations, maybe therapeutically or in therapy sessions, could it be used in a way to help families better communicate with each other, issues or things they might need to resolve? But anyways, my point is, when you're controlled, calm, and talking from a place of love, your message can go further. So that is a big reason why there's power in that. So when Kanye, this is still towards the end, when Kanye was talking about in order to be the best servant of God and to this world for God, he has to be him. One reason why that I want to elaborate on is that when you're authentically you, there's ideas that only you have. There's things that you can envision and see that only you can see. You were given that vision. You were given that idea. And it is because of your experience you were able to manifest it and have it. So that's why, unless you're being authentically you, being yourself, you're not going to affect the most change you can affect or fulfill all your purposes, because there's many things that are just unique to you. And in order to serve better, you have to be you. Now, I don't think Charlemagne understood that, because he started talking about how, but you are you, Kanye. You are you. He's just not, like, in my opinion, understanding or listening to the whole of the conversation or what Kanye has been saying. He's getting back to being him. He was living at 1 minute, you want to tell him he's arrogant and he's all about money. Then the next minute you want to say he needs to be loud because you like him like that. So I'm not understanding, like, what's your deal? Like, what is and that's where the frustration comes from, because sometimes people just aren't getting it yet. I want to say I am so excited for this upcoming therapeutic music that he has on the way. Like, I cannot wait to hear that. I am so interested in hearing what type of therapeutic music he's going to make. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. So about an hour and 42 in, when they're talking about how when you bring Kim and Kanye together, how just all that fame and paparazzi and all that, how do you stay sane in that? And he pretty much said you got to find your inner peace. Like, no matter where you are, if you're in a rural area, you don't have a clinic, you have not many job opportunities. If you're in the hood and, you know, every other day you got to worry about shootings and stuff like that, you know, it's not exactly the same, but you can still apply that concept of striving to find that inner peace, just to help make your days better, make your outlook better. So hopefully that can give you the drive to have the courage to take more chances to help change your situation, or to further your situation if you're already on like a path and things are getting hectic. You know, you still need that inner peace to stay the course. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this is the end of the interview, and I think I'm pretty much said everything I have to say, and things that came to mind when I was listening to it. And I'm gonna go ahead and let Kanye wrap it up. And of course, let me know if you got anything of this or want to elaborate on something specific. And again, thank you for listening. Wrap it up, yay. And peace.
Rewriting part of the story. Right. You know, just by even doing
sorry.
This,
all right. My bad. This is where I meant to start it. Okay, peace.
What would college dropout Kanye see pictures of Kanye now? What would he say?
I think he'd be happy, satisfied, and he would believe it. You know, people say, "Oh, I wouldn't believe it." I always believe it. I always know what it is. You know, this documentation right now, this is just the age 40. This is a version of a college dropout, yay. We're standing on my first property.
300 acres.
Yeah. So, I'm going to be one of the biggest real estate developers of all time. Like what Howard Hughes was to aircrafts and what Henry Ford was to cars. And just the relationships that I have with architects, my understanding of like space and sacred proportions, just this vibe, this new energy. Like, I'm tired of the McMansions, all the Spanish roof homes and stuff like that. Like, that shit whack, bro. Like, everybody house whack. It's trash, bro. I don't go to except unless it's like Howard Bakken or something. It's like one of the few architects that I like their homes.
I was gonna ask you what's next, because Ye's always predicted what he was gonna be. So that's the goal.
Yeah, we're gonna develop cities.